Alright, welcome everybody to the Narshe review. So, um, I've changed the format a little bit on this. I am actually not going to be talking about the characters in order of appearance, because I decided I'm going to talk about them in order of my favorite so far. So, that being said, let me recap you on how I rate them. It is a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being totally useless, and a 10 being absolutely essential to our team. Before we get started, I want to clear something up. So, as you know, we've been getting a lot of desperation attacks. Well, it turns out that I'm now armed with knowledge. This Narshe review will not be quite as harsh on these characters for, at least for the seed. Because I went on the Discord and I asked, and there's a chance that when so the new version of Beyond Chaos has an auto updater that updates to the newest version automatically, but there seems to be a bug with that where it's not always working. So there's a chance that the version I have is 4.1.0 instead of 4.1.1. Now what that means is in 4.1.0, a lot of people were reporting an abundance of desperation attacks being rolled through commands. So that makes a lot of sense if that's the case. And after the seed, after we finish the seed for the 10th one, I'm going to go ahead and just re-download Beyond Chaos entirely so it's completely up to date. And that should not be an issue anymore. But as of right now, that's likely why we have so many desperation attacks. That's likely why we got them in the last seed as well. So, regardless of that, I'm not gonna let that affect the ratings of the characters just because it's slightly boring. Because now I know why. So we will just go ahead and talk about the characters. So, starting with my definite favorite character, dude. the only one who could have beaten this character is if we would have got to keep that turtle ghost. But no. Okay, so this is Wardy. He's awesome. He's got Quadra Slice and R level. I think it's Quadra Slice. I don't know if it's Slice or Slam. Again, I've never been able to see the difference between animations of those. And sword tech skills are skills that do not pop up with the names of them when you do them in the randomizer. So anyway, Wardy is a frog. He's freaking hilarious to run around with. I love that he's Locke, because he makes some funny faces and stuff. But as far as like how good he is, I'm rating him again. I'm rating these based on my favorites. Just because he's my favorite does not mean he's the best, in the least. In fact, he's not that great. So looking at stuff, Quadra Slice is about all he has, except he can equip the Swordbreaker, which is pretty dang strong. But again, his best option is to hit Fight. So not incredible, but he does have some utility there. I mean, he's attacking, and he can also attack mobs with Quadra Slice. Our level, again, pretty useless. But as of right now, yeah, he's not that good, but I love him. I am going to rate Wardy at, I'm going to say a 4. I don't think he quite goes over the 5 mark, but he's a frog. I'm giving him a 4. Alright, my next favorite character has to be Delita. I like Delita. I like this character from Tactics. Again, not one of my favorite characters from Tactics, but I freaking like Delita, especially when he's in his Squire form, which is this one. He can equip shurikens and spears, which doesn't really matter too much. What actually matters is the fact that he has Shadow Fang. That's our desperation attack that our main character has. We're about to lose him, but he's got a desperation attack, so anytime he's on the team is okay with us. And yeah, I mean, he's just pretty good in general. His magic power is 45. You know, it's not bad, and I really like Delita. So I'm going to go ahead and rate. I mean, let's go over some of the stuff you can equip too. So he's obviously, this is the coolest thing that we were doing with him. Because he's so important, we wanted to have a Mirage Vest, right? No matter what. The weapons don't matter because he's never going to be swinging, but the equipment does. So Mirage Vest makes it so he can't get hit by physical attacks. And then we put a True Knight on him, and he basically does Final Fantasy IV Paladin Cecil cover strats with like a Moonveil or Blink. So that's pretty cool, and I like it. Regardless, that's Delita for you, and I am definitely rating him at least. I'm gonna have too many 10s if I rate everybody with a Desperation attack of 10, so I'm gonna call Delita a 9. He's very, very good. So yeah, I definitely like playing. A scan's gonna be helpful too eventually. So against certain enemies, but yeah, friggin' awesome. Delita, our main character, just too cool. All right, my next favorite character, Rhina from Final Fantasy V. Again, another character with a Desperation attack with Riot Blade. But she has a magic command, which is one of the first ones that we've come across, actually. We do not have a lot of magic commands because I chose to replace everything. Her magic power is not great, but she's also doing Riot Blade, so it's not a big deal. When she does have to use magic, right now she only has some utility stuff. Mute, Rasp, Berserk. Could be helpful at some point. Doubtful. I don't foresee a turn where she's not going to be Riot Blading. But I mean, the fact that she has a magic attack is pretty nice. And she equips katanas. Again, not that it matters because she's never going to physically attack. But yeah, just for the fact that she has a magic command and everything, I'm going to actually make her our 10. Because if Delita had a magic command, he would have been a 10. But Rhina does, plus a Desperation attack, she's a 10 today. So, good for you, Rhina. Alright, Lone Wolf, the returning veteran for, I don't remember if it's 2 seeds now, or 3 seeds now. But yeah, Lone Wolf, dude. He's actually pretty cool. I like him. He's got a different profile picture from the other one. I don't know if that was like an update or what, but probably. He's not that great, but he does have lore, and will be great eventually because of that reason. Right now, we only have Blowfish, really, for any kind of respectable damage. Of course, 1,000 damage whenever we want it, as long as he can cast it, but it is costing us 50 MP, so that's a shame. But Morph, again, not really interesting. Not a great skill, really, to use all the time. You pretty much save it for bosses, and even then you don't really need it. He has Gauze equip scheme, I'm pretty sure, so he can't equip any weapons. Just equipment. And yeah, that's basically it for him. It's sad that he can't equip weapons, because that would make him have a much higher rating than I'm going to give him, because right now all he's doing is physically attacking, because he doesn't have that much MP for lures, for Blowfish. Now, if he was able to throw Blowfish for cheaper, or if he had more MP, this rating would be different, but as of right now, I think I have to rate him even lower than Wardy. I think he's a 3 right now, but I do see him having potential there, so that does have the potential to change, for sure. But he's cool. He's Lone Wolf, man. I love it when we get veterans, as long as there's not too many of them, because that makes it boring. Alright, Vixie. Vixie is a Lady Imperial Soldier. I don't know why. But she also has a Desperation attack. This one, however, is not like Shadowfang and Riot Blade, in that it is Star Prism. So it's just an instant kill, like Saber Soul was for Edward in the Zalbag and some other dude's seed. And then she has Launcher, no magic command. Vixie is not looking great, to be honest with you. Her saving grace is that she can equip Ninja Stars, which is pretty cool. But no magic command means no changes. She's going to have to depend on the weapon she can equip to do damage. Launcher only has very niche uses. Yeah, I like Star Prism, and it could be helpful later, just like Saber Soul was in the World of Ruin for killing enemies with like tons of HP in like the Cian's Dream and stuff like that in the Ancient Castle. But right now, I mean, Star Prism's there. It's not terrible. I do like her, but yeah, not my favorite character. But I would rate her probably, even though she has Star Prism, I'd probably only give her a 5. She's just a step above Wardy. Okay, the Impresario. The guy who runs the Opera House. Who looks surprisingly like Carpainter from Earthbound. And just so happens to have a lot of skills that you could consider crashing boom bang attacks. So he has Disbolt, which is weird because I think it's exactly the the skill that Sid had the one time that we had Sid in the Shadow spot, I think. So yeah, that's Dispel, Bolt Beam. And then his second skill is Bolt Edge and Regen. Bolt Edge and Regen is really cool for clearing out enemies. Now, the trade-off is if you don't kill them with the Bolt Edge, you're going to give them Regen, which sucks. But that's the only downside to that skill. Bolt Edge is pretty good. I mean, except for, like, of course, enemies that will absorb it because it's an elemental attack. But for right now, it's pretty good AoE. It's going to really help in this Narshe fight. But yeah, the Impresario, looking okay. Not the worst. Not the best either. He can equip the Swordbreaker, but that is for Wardy. That is not for the Impresario. We can probably be equipping him with the Thunder Rod. Goes with the theme, considering all of his electric attacks. But, yeah, Impresario is pretty dang good for right now. I'd probably put him in a 6 for all of his AoE. Okay, and our blind spot. So, as you can see, Delita was our main character that we got. And we just so happened to get Algus. If you are a fan of Final Fantasy Tactics, you probably hate him. Just like I do. He is a douche. He did some horrid things. He deserves his fate. And I'm glad he kind of sucks in here, because I don't want to use him that much. He's going to have to be used for this Narshe Fields battle, sadly, because Magitech, although not the best, besides having Poop Beam for its hilarity, has Atomic Ray, which is, we've seen in a couple of seeds, is very good AoE. For now. Later it might not be. But, and he's got Jump. So, Algus, he, again, doesn't have a magic command either. So, that's, I've never been, he's using Knuckles, which is weird. I've never been more happy to have a character that isn't good. No, except for maybe Lame, the Imp Sprite. I don't know, I think these two are on par with each other. But, yeah, so Algus is here. Algus is a 1 for many reasons, despite the fact that Atomic Ray is really good, and the beams aren't bad. I'm still making him a 1 because, 1, I hate him, and 2, he's not incredibly good. So, there you have it. There is our Narshe review for this seed so far. Now, talking about the seed, let's get into that a little bit. So, we've been blazing through it because these Desperation attacks. Even Banangrius, even she got Shadowfang. And even if she hadn't gotten Shadowfang, she has Mimic, so she would have been Shadowfang anyway. None of my characters that I have Mimic, which is nice, because then we'd just be seeing nothing but Shadowfang all the time. But there's still the potential for that, because as we saw with Banon's equipment, he had Fight, Shadowfang, Mimic, and Item. Now, you might be saying, okay, well, that's whatever. We don't get to use Banon anyway, so who cares? But he was also equipping Dragoon Boots and a Thief Glove. 2 items which change 2 different commands into 2 different commands. So, I don't know if that changed his bottom command from magic to item or something to item, or if one of them was turning something into Shadowfang, which if that's the case, we might see the Shadowfang takeover seed here. But I don't know. I hope that isn't the case, but we'll see. Or we'll see someone as an item giving our characters Mimic, which would just make more Desperation attacks happen. You know, so needless to say, this seed is very desperate. This is the desperate Delita seed. Let's just say that. Delita is desperate. Let's do the Delita is desperate seed. I guess that's what we're calling it. I don't know. That might change depending on characters we get later, but right now this seed's looking thirsty. Anyway, that's the Narshe review, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.